Barcelona will also be in action. They're away to Monaco. Monaco, who beat them in that pre-season trophy, the Joan Gamper trophy. A lot was made of that, but we all know what's followed since. Barcelona have been flying with their start to the season. The bad news is, though, they've just lost Dani Olmo. He scored at the weekend against Girona, but it's confirmed that he'll be out for 4 to 5 weeks with an injury now.
Is this not what one of the things that was discussed when Dani Olmo signed, which nobody was denying that he's a terrific player, the big game changer for Spain at the Euros. There's no doubt about that. And his introduction at Barcelona, first of all off the bench, was match changing. But if you go back and look at his history in Germany in particular, this has been a problem, and it's one thing that we talked about. And you know, sometimes this sort of injury-ravaged sort of player perception follows you around, and then you can't shake it off, and sometimes it's not your fault.
It's also dismantled the rhythm of the team. I think they started off so well, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at, you know, the way Yamal comes back after, you know, like having such a heavy tournament and playing the football he's playing, you know, I think what this team really has is that everybody that plays up front, they give me the feeling that they do so much to score and making sure they're on the scoring sheet, but they don't do it while they're playing against each other. It's almost like they're helping each other to get there, because sometimes you see Rafinha doing things and you say, like, okay, free kicks and it's almost this, but you don't see it's and difficulty in towards the team. And I think that is what Barcelona is at the moment. The groove is there, and Real Madrid, you clearly can see it takes time, and time is not always on your side.
Are we going to be all right without Dani Olmo for the next few weeks?
Well, what we've seen so far should be, but the truth is, and again, given the start or given the expectations pre-season and the start that they made, you want that to continue. In much the same way that 2 weeks ago we were seeing Hansi Flick, more than any manager in European football, did not want an international break because Barcelona were playing so well. Then they come out of that international break and again just look so outstanding. You want to keep that going because of how poor Barcelona, by their standards, because of how poor they were last season, because of how surprisingly good they were. You want that consistency. You want that team to find that confidence. Then you can move 1 or 2 players, make a couple of changes, rotate as you see fit, and nobody have any concerns about that. Maybe it's a little bit early in the season for you to start thinking that you have that confidence just yet.
We had a graphic a few weeks ago, I don't exactly remember when it was, on Dani Olmo, and it was, I'm sort of paraphrasing now because I don't know exactly, but it was like over the last 2 or 3 years, he's missed X amount of games. And when you looked at it, it was a concern. You know, it was a concern, and I think clubs factor that in sometimes, but clearly they wanted the player, and you're always hoping that you can polish it up, polish the player off, and you know the injuries are behind them. But guess what? As you get older, it's more difficult to shake these injuries off. And I don't say that because it's like a hugely serious injury, being a hamstring at 5 or 6 weeks. But there's a bit of a recurring theme here for Dani Olmo over the past few seasons. And let's be honest, you know, most of the teams that win the big trophies have the best players available more often than not. And so there's something certainly for Barcelona fans and everybody else to keep an eye on, because I don't think they win the league if he's out for, say, 6 months of the season as a totality. I don't think they win the league. I think he's such an important player.
Just bringing that up as well. There is the injury histories. 29 games missed in 23.
So that's
that's a lot. That's a lot of
the season
football.
before, and 19 the season before
So 29. If you're playing in all the big competitions, you're probably playing 60 games, maybe. So that's half the games he's missed, and then he's missed at least a third of the season and the other 2 seasons. Now he's out for 5 or 6 weeks. I don't want to jump on the injury bandwagon, but that's a recurring theme here. It's very early in the season. He's a very important player. Those numbers, if I was somebody, I wouldn't be showing them to Hansi Flick, because it's going to be giving him some sleepless nights, because he needs them. He's got talent in his team, but that's a key position he is in, supporting Lewandowski, making those dynamic runs into the box, being clinical when he's in the box with his finishing, and those numbers, you take that out of the Barcelona team, and that is a big, big problem.
Okay, well, time is going to tell, and we will be able to see Barcelona in action on Thursday against Monaco, and our first look at how they'll be faring without him. Obviously, he wasn't registered for the early season games either, but now, it's made such an impact. We'll see what this means for Barcelona now